Aldo Iacobelli is an Italian-born artist who is based in Adelaide. For Monster Theatres, Aldo has produced a 7-part painting series called The Raft. Aldo often draws on his personal experience. He grew up in an American-occupied Naples after the Second World War.
But it talks about very much something that's very contemporary also. That's what the main comment is. Because I really think when countries go into another country as an ally and move in to control things, they actually become also an occupier at the same time. Maybe unwillingly, but I think that still happens to die. And that's the message, very much. When I did that painting, I was thinking about the plight of Palestine and the hypocrisy of the West. It's ironic because I remember in '99, when the wall of Berlin came down, we were all so joyous. You know, the world, we were so happy as something is happening like that. But soon after that, countries start beginning to build walls all over. It's called the conversation, but it's a conversation that person doesn't want to exist. It's telling the young people, you go back to school, you don't know anything, you don't have a voice. And so those figures that are wrapped up have been stopped to be able to have a conversation.
Another attribute that you see recurring in his work is this dismembered body parts. We see fractured feet or hands. You know, there's really something disturbing in that there's this dismemberment and a kind of dehumanization, which is really what is a kind of central theme to this series.
All I started to see was the hands. There's beautiful hands, almost manicured, but the way they were positioned, you could tell they were specifically positioned so you could direct it somewhere. And this is the sort of techniques that sometimes we learn in paintings and that. And then there's another hand on there that I put, a ceramic one. That's a symbol that anytime I see it and I receive it, really puts me off, it really disturbs me. It was used over 2,000 years ago for people fighting for their life, and people would decide if they had to be put to death. And yet we're using that, a huge corporation just puts it there and uses it. The lifespan of a man in seconds. That originated, I like to do a bit of swimming in summer only because I don't like to swim indoors. So sometimes before work, once or twice a week, if I can fit in 3 times in the morning before I start working, I go for a swim. And a few times I noticed the time clock, which I don't use, of course, but I just saw it and I stood there just almost I couldn't walk away from it because I could see the seconds going by. And it made me think of the time, And this clock, when you think of the time going by, in seconds especially, because it's quite, it's a perpetual motion. It makes me think about, what I have been and what I am and what I want to be. Makes me think I have a short time on this planet. What can I do while I'm alive to actually be a good person, maybe?